Welcome to SATV News. This is Tushia Amin with the news. Now in details, BNP Senior Joint Secretary General Advocate Ruhul Khabir Rizvi on Saturday alleged that a deep conspiracy is currently underway in the country, which he fears could be linked to an international plot. He said this while speaking at a Milad Mahafil today. Rizvi demanded that the interim government carry out an investigation into what he believes could be another wave of conspiracy against the country. The attacks on shrines and the burning of a dead body could be part of a bigger international conspiracy. BNP strongly condemns these acts, the BNP leader said. BNP organized the program at the party's Noya Palton Central office, marking Eid-e-Miladun-Nabi. Rizvi also said such incidents as attacking shrines and burning dead bodies has never heard of, even during the Pakistan era. Rizvi further criticized what he called false propaganda against BNP. Meanwhile, BNP Standing Committee member Mirza Abbas said that the vandalism of shrines and political party offices cannot be considered isolated incidents, warning that more such events may occur ahead of the national election. A section of people wants the election not to take place. The country is not running through a normal process. It is moving in an abnormal way, he said today after visiting injured former Daksu BP Nurul Haq Noor at Dhaka Medical College Hospital. Abbas termed the recent attack on Noor intentional, saying a proper investigation is needed to identify who was involved and why, and they must be brought to justice. He criticized the government for delaying Noor's treatment abroad, adding the government should have ensured special arrangement for his treatment in a suitable country. Abbas further alleged that targeted attacks had been planned weeks earlier, saying about a month ago, he heard that some people would be attacked deliberately. The government must see where these attacks are coming from. If not, people will think the government has lost control. BNP Health Advisor Secretary Dr. Rafiqul Islam, Gano Adhikar Parishad's General Secretary Rashid Khan and others were also present. Many political parties and political figures who had spoken of holding the 13th national parliamentary election in December are now conspiring to push back the date of the poll, said local government advisor Asif Mahmood Sajib Bhuiya. Their aim isn't an election, it is the reinstatement of the Awami League, he added. Asif Mahmood made these remarks today in response to a question from the media after attending the orientation programs for newly appointed officers and employees of the Polli Doridro Bimochon Foundation. He also said it is clear that their goal is to bring the Awami League back and then hold an election. However, he did not specify the names of any parties or political figures. The fascists will not participate in the election to be held in February. That is why they are losing their minds, added the advisor. Asif Mahmood, who became part of the interim government as a representative of the student movement that toppled the Awami League regime last year, also sought to distinguish between mobs and legitimate political programs. In response to a question, Asif Mahmood said, incidents like the burning of bodies are extremely reprehensible. Whoever is found to be responsible or negligent in such incidents will definitely be held accountable, he said. Police have filed a case against 3,000 to 3,500 unidentified individuals in connection with an attack on policemen and burning vehicles during yesterday's violent clash in Goalanda Upazila in Rajbari. The clash, which left one person dead and nearly 50 others injured, took place at the Darbar Sharif of Nurul Haq Mullah, also known as Nural Pagla, at Juran Molar Para village under Ujanchor Union in the Upazila. The confrontation erupted when a procession of agitated crowds attacked the shrine, and the followers of Nural Pagla retaliated. During the violence, police trying to control the situation were attacked, and police vehicles along with the civil administration's vehicle were vandalized. Goalanda Ghat Police Station Sub-Inspector M.D. Salim filed the case yesterday midnight, citing assault on on-duty police officers. The violence was fueled by a dispute over the burial of Nurul, who died on August 23rd. The holy Eid-e-Miladun-Nabi, marking the birth and dismiss anniversary of Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is being observed across Bangladesh on Saturday with due religious solemnity and state honor. On the 12th of Rabiul Awwal in 570 Hijri, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born in Mecca, bringing divine blessings and a message of peace for mankind. He also passed away on the same day in 632 Hijri. The government has declared a general holiday on the occasion, while mosques, Islamic institutions and various organizations are holding special prayers, discussion and cultural programs, highlighting the life and teachings of the Prophet. Meanwhile, 2 participants died in stampedes while several others were injured after a bridge collapsed during an Eid-e-Miladun-Nabi procession called Jashan-e-Julus in Chattogam's Muradpur. The second incident took place when a section of an iron bridge near Muradpur gave away, causing a stampede, confirming SI Nurul Alam Ashik, in charge of the Chittagong Medical College Hospital Police Outpost. The deceased were Ayub Ali from Patia Upazila and Saiful Islam from the Kalamia Bazar area. 9 people injured in the incident are receiving treatment at the CMCH. Protecting Dhaka's water bodies is essential for the city's survival, with no alternative to restoring reservoirs, says Sayyeda Rizwana Hassan, advisor to the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and the Ministry of Water Resources. Dhaka residents are already seeing the benefits of ongoing canal recovery work. Even during peak monsoon this year, water lodging was less severe compared to previous years, said Rizwana today. She was speaking at the Urban Dialogue on Restoration of Dhaka's Water Bodies, Challenges and Prospects, and the Best Urban Reporting Award 2025 ceremony organized by the Urban Development Journalists Forum of Bangladesh. Rizwana stressed that public awareness and unity can ensure the protection of reservoirs, recalling how collective action in Bholaganj stopped illegal stone extraction. She also said she has not permitted deforestation during her tenure, though previous government had approved cutting in several areas. The event concluded with the presentation of the Best Urban Reporting Award 2025, where 6 journalists were recognized across 5 categories. Viewers taking a short break, stay with us. Welcome back, you're watching SATV News. Now news from abroad. At least 21 people, including more 8 seekers, have been killed by Israeli attacks on Saturday. Israeli assault on the northern urban center continued into the early hours of Saturday with deadly strikes reported on Palestinian homes. Meanwhile, the Israeli army issued new forced evacuation threat for Gaza City residents, telling them to go to south. Since October 2023, at least 64,300 people have been killed and 162,005 wounded across Gaza. Thousands more are believed to be under the rubble. Lebanon's cabinet on Friday welcomed a plan by the army that would disarm Hezbollah and said the military would begin executing it without setting a time frame for implementation and cautioning that the army had limited capabilities. A national divide over Hezbollah's disarmament has taken center stage in Lebanon since last year's devastating war with Israel, which upended a power balance and long dominated by the Iran-backed Shiite Muslim group. The US and Saudi Arabia, along with Hezbollah's primary Christian and Sunni opponents in Lebanon, have ramped up calls for the group to give up arms. However, Hezbollah has pushed back, saying it would be a serious misstep to even discuss disarmament, with Israel continues its airstrikes on Lebanon and occupies swaths of territory in the south. 4 people were killed in Israeli strikes on Wednesday. On Friday, Lebanon's cabinet met for 3 hours, which included the plan's presentation by Army Commander Rodafi Hakai. All 5 Shiite cabinet ministers left the session in protest once Hakai entered the room. Lebanese Information Minister Paul Marcos told reporters after the session that the government welcomed the plan but stopped short of saying the cabinet had formally passed it. He said the army would begin implementing the plan according to its logistical, material and personal capabilities, which might require additional time and additional effort. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Friday that Ukraine would continue to respond to Russian attacks on its energy facilities despite criticism from Slovakia and Hungary, which have suffered Russian oil supply disruption as a result. Zelensky spoke after holding his first high-level talks with Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico, with whom he has clashed over Russian energy supplies in the past, in the Ukrainian city of Uzhhorod near the border with Slovakia. Slovakia, along with Hungary, has continued to buy Russian gas and oil, even as other European Union countries cut ties after Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. Ukraine responds to Russia's attack on our energy facilities and will keep doing so, Zelensky said during joint news conference with Fico, referring to years of Russian attacks on Ukrainian power station and other energy infrastructure. Zelensky also said Kyiv remained open to supplying Slovakia with oil and gas unless it comes from Russia. Meanwhile, Fico said military attacks on legitimate targets hurt Slovakia. They should also look at the interests of other countries that are part of the international energy network, added Fico. The United States is not talking about regime change in Venezuela, President Donald Trump said on Friday, pushing back against a claim made by the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro this week. US is talking about the fact that Venezuela had an election which was a very strange election, to put it mildly. Trump said when asked by journalists to react to Maduro's comment that the United States was seeking a regime change through military threat. Thailand's newly elected Prime Minister Onutun Charnvirakul on Friday night pledged to turn the country back to the land of smiles after breezing through a parliamentary vote to become the country's new leader and third Prime Minister in 2 years. Onutun thanked parliamentary members who voted in Friday's session as well as the Thai people. When asked about former PM Thaksin Shinawatra, who left on his private jet for Dubai late on Thursday, September 4th, with his family once dominated PUP Thai party in disarray, Onutun said the law would be strictly enforced and there would be no seeking of revenge under his government. With Thailand's sluttering economy facing serious headwinds, tension with neighboring Cambodia on the knife edge after a deadly border war, and the specter of more political turmoil, an ability to handle turbulence could prove useful in Onutun's new job. POTI's crisis was triggered in June by Onutun's withdrawal from its alliance, which left the coalition government clinging to power with a razor-thin majority amid protests and plummeting popularity.
ซึ่งตามวิสัยและพฤติการของผู้ถูกซึ่งดำรงตำแหน่งนายกรัฐมนตรีควรจะต้องมีวิจารณญาณในการเลือกกระทำการโดยไม่ขัดต่อความเป็นรัฐมนตรีของผู้ถูกร้องนายกรัฐมนตรี
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Friday called on the United States to abandon what he described as plans for violent regime change in his country and across Latin America as tension escalates over U.S. military deployment in the Caribbean. Despite the growing tensions, Maduro struck a conciliatory tone towards U.S. President Donald Trump, saying, "We had differences, but none of the differences we have had and continue to have could lead to a high-impact military conflict or violence in South America and North America." Maduro's comments came as the United States ordered an additional 10 Sleet fighter jets to bolster its military presence in the Caribbean. The escalating rhetoric follows Trump's demonstration of his new approach to the drug war with a U.S. military strike on Tuesday that killed 11 people and sank a Venezuelan boat allegedly transporting narcotics.
Ninguna de las diferencias que hemos tenido y tenemos puede llevar a un conflicto militar de alto impacto, violencia de Venezuela.
Strong gusts of wind from Typhoon Peipa destroyed at least 220 buildings in Shizuoka Prefecture on Friday, injuring 23 people, according to Japanese public broadcaster NHK. NHK reported strong gusts were observed in 4 municipalities in Shizuoka Prefecture, including Yoshida Town and Makinohara City. Makinohara City authorities say 3 people had suffered critical injuries and 20 had minor injuries as of 9:30 p.m. local time, NHK reported. At least 43 buildings were completely or half destroyed and 184 buildings were partially destroyed in Makinohara City, according to the NHK. Peipa downgraded to a tropical storm around 9 p.m. local time on Friday off the east coast of Japan. Thousands of hectares of farmland have been submerged in the Indian state of Punjab after a fierce monsoon season brought immense destruction in the region. In the border town of Fazilka, the Indian Army rescued stranded residents on Saturday and relocated them to makeshift shelters. At least 40 people have been killed and around 2,000 villages in Punjab have been inundated, according to the local media. Water levels also remain high in the Yamuna River in areas around New Delhi and the town of Mathura, about 180 kilometers away from the Indian capital. China today urged certain Philippine individuals to quit their Twitterics and stop making provocation on the Taiwan question. The Philippines Defense Minister Gilbert Teodoro, in response to Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson's remarks on the Philippines allowing the visit by head of the Foreign Affairs Department of the Taiwan authorities, said that China should not impose its red line on the Philippines and it's the Philippines' sovereignty to accept Taiwan officials. Teodoro said no government official met Ling Chia-lang and the Philippines is committed to the One China policy, but China has no right to dictate. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo told a daily press briefing that China has stated its solemn position on the Philippines, allowing the visit by head of the Foreign Affairs Department of the Taiwan authorities. The Philippines has repeatedly adopted wrongful and provocative words and deeds on Taiwan-related issues, violated basic norms governing international relations and its commitment on Taiwan-related issues, and kept undermining its relation with China and trampling on China's red line, Guo stressed. The Philippines will pay the price and all consequences arising therefore must be borne by the Philippines, he further said. Before ending, go to the headlines again. Deep conspiracy tied to international plot is underway, says Ruhul Kabir Rizvi. Vandalism of Shrine's party office, not isolated incident, says Mirza Abbas. Some calling for December polls, now plotting to delay votes, says advisor Asif Mahmood. Those responsible for burning bodies will be held accountable. Saving water bodies is key to saving Dhaka, says environment advisor. Collective action in Bhola can stop illegal stone extraction. You're updated with the top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.